Hi, I'm Cherylin, and today we're going to be replacing the motor in a Whirlpool electric dryer. You'll most likely need to replace the motor if you hear a humming but the drum doesn't turn. This repair should take about a half an hour. For this repair, we're going to need several tools. A stiff putty knife, Phillips head screwdriver, flathead screwdriver, 5/16 nut driver, and 2 wrenches, 7/16 and 13/16. I would also recommend a pair of work gloves to protect your hands while making the repair. If you don't already have a new motor, they're available for purchase on our website. Before repairing any appliance, always make sure it is completely disconnected from its power source. To start the repair, we're going to need to remove the lint screen and remove the 2 screws at the top of the lint chute. Make sure to catch them before they fall down the lint chute. Now what we need to do is flip up the top of the machine. In order to do that, we need to unlock the 2 locking mechanisms about 1 inch in on either side with our stiff putty knife. Make sure the blade of the putty knife is above the 2 tabs. Push in till it unlocks and then push up. Do the same to the other side. Now that we're going to start working inside the dryer, I would recommend putting on that pair of gloves. There are a lot of sharp edges inside the machine, so we just want to make sure our hands stay protected. Then we can lift the top of the machine up, lean it against the wall. If you don't have a wall to lean against, you can create a suspension system. There are 2 holes here and here. If you have any wire or string, you can create that suspension system and keep that tension off the wires. Next, we're going to need to disconnect the door switch, so we'll take our putty knife, release the lock tabs on either side of the door switch until you can pull it apart. Now we're going to remove the front panel. In order to do that, we need our 5/16 nut driver in order to remove the 2 screws on the front inside of the dryer. Now we're going to remove the front of the dryer. Just be aware that the drum of the dryer will tip out once the front is removed. It's okay, you can leave it, it's not going to fall out. So what we're going to need to do is lift up on the front and back out to get off the latches on the bottom of the dryer. And then you can set it off to the side. To get the drum out, we need to release the tension on the belt, so we're going to be working down here in the motor pulley system. So here we have our idler pulley. In order to get it out, we need to release the tension on the belt. To do that, support the drum with your shoulder. Push the idler pulley to the right. That'll take some tension off the belt so you can get it off the motor. And that'll release the system. You can take your idler pulley right out. Remove the drum by lifting up on the belt and sliding straight forward. Set it to the side. Now we have access to the motor. We're going to start by taking off this electrical clip. Then we need to remove the blower clip at the back of the motor. Use the flathead to pry the clip off the hook that holds it in place. Then take it out, removing it from the hook on the other side as well. Now we need our wrenches. The 7/16 goes behind the pulley and the 13/16 goes on the blower wheel. Hold the pulley in place while you loosen the blower wheel. It may be a little tight, just knock it loose. Then we can unscrew the blower wheel by hand to get it off the motor. Remove the motor clip at the front, just like the clip at the back. Now you should be able to wiggle the motor free. When you get your new motor, it will come with a set of instructions. Be sure to read through that to see if you need to make any adjustments to your motor before you install it. Sometimes you'll need to switch out the pulley end of your motor, or you may need to install an adapter for the wiring. To install the new motor, make sure it's far enough in. The blue gear should rest on the frame with the wire harness facing up. Then turn the motor so this notch at the front locks into place. Take your wrenches again and tighten the blower wheel on. Replace the blower clip, making sure the arrow is pointing to the blower. To latch it into place, I like to line up my flathead with the hook and give it a whack. Replace the motor clip and the wiring. Now we can replace the drum. Felt seal to the back, slide in. Line it up with the back. And set it on those support rollers. In order to reinstall the pulley system, you're probably going to want to take off your gloves as this requires a little bit of precision. You're going to need to push the drum back. Make sure it's on the support rollers properly. You're going to take your idler pulley, supporting the drum. You're going to want to slide that back into the proper slots. Line up the belt with the roller. You're going to push it and loop it through the bottom of the idler pulley. Push the pulley to the right and loop it around the motor. Push the drum back along the back and give it a turn to make sure it's lined up properly. Now we can replace the front panel. Make sure to have your 5/16 nut driver and nuts handy because we're going to be screwing them in as soon as we get the front panel on. Now this can get a little bit tricky. You have to push the drum back. At the same time, you're lifting the front panel onto the hooks at the bottom. Sometimes it takes a little bit of wiggling. There we go. Now we can take our nut driver and screw in the nuts. Reconnect the door switch. And we can close the lid. Rescrew in the screws. No gloves needed. And replace the lint screen. Now, wasn't that easy? Here's a quick recap. All of our OEM parts and tools are available for purchase on our website. Check them out along with our social media sites here.